Jarrad, what did you take out of the 23s match against the Crows? Some positive signs?
Yeah, there was. Probably played in two halves from our liking, but just really excited to see some players gel together, get more exposure under the Port Adelaide jumper, and yeah, obviously get some more game time into some more senior players as well. So, but yeah, look, played in two halves. Very excited what we saw in the first half, but obviously we probably fell away a little bit in the second half. But still, we take a lot of learnings from the second half, which we'll review for the young fellas.
Mitch Georgiades has obviously been spoken about a lot, but Dylan Williams showed he could definitely play senior football this year.
Yeah, it was exciting for Dylan. He's got some tricks up his sleeve, that's for sure. Very strong. But from Dylan's side of things, he's had a bit of an interrupted last year in his prep. So yeah, getting his body right, getting his fitness right is a key for him. But we know he's got AFL traits for sure, and we saw that on the weekend.
What are you hoping to see from the Marsh game on Saturday against the Bulldogs? What are you hoping to see from the guys?
A continued on, I suppose, our progress from the pre-season, things that we've been working on in our game. We'd like to obviously now challenge ourselves against a very good side in the Bulldogs. So yeah, that side of things, and obviously take some learnings from the under-23 games that might not have worked, so we're all clear as a club moving forward. But yeah, we just want to make sure that we put out a nice strong unit and to enter finish the pre-season off with a good solid hit out, and which prepares us for 2020.
As part of that strong unit, is Robbie Gray on track to play on Saturday?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Yeah, I know obviously Robbie unfortunately had to pull out of the All-Stars game, but just through management of an injury that he had, but I don't think it's not anything that will keep him out from playing this week. So look, we had a light session today, and we've got a couple more sessions left in us, and I'm sure he'll be fine.
And Scotty Loss got through unscathed after the All-Stars game?
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, no, he trained today with us, and said he was a little bit sore, maybe playing on Marvel Stadium for the first time, a bit harder ground, but yeah, he's fine, and yeah, enjoyed the situation.
There's a fair bit of hype around the Bulldogs coming out of Melbourne. Do you think this is, I guess, the game that's going to be, I guess, a yardstick for where you guys are at this year?
I wouldn't say yardstick. It's it's just another challenge. As you said, they're a quality side. They've got a lot of stars in their side. They've recruited well in the off season, and they were around the mark towards the end of last year. So we know they're a quality outfit, strong in all areas, and we know they're very strong around the footy. So yeah, we're going to have our work cut out for us, but definitely a great opportunity for us to see where we're at.
Do you pick your best team now, Jarrad? Is this the one where you pull the trigger?
Well, we'd like to think we've got a pretty good list to pick from. Whether that's the team from round one, I wouldn't say it's a lock. We're still exploring. We played a pretty strong outfit up against Brisbane. So we'll look at that again and field a strong side, but with an open mind to, I suppose, expose some young fellas as well.
So confident that you've got the guys that maybe won't play, you've still got the miles in their legs to pick them round one, even though they haven't had as much. If you're going to pick some young guys for this second game? Yeah,
I think we have. We've had a pretty big pre-season, so if someone that hasn't played, for whatever reason, we feel like we've had enough work put into them, so we won't be too concerned with that.
Is Jack Watts a chance of playing this weekend? Obviously he didn't play yet, wasn't in the final squad for the Brisbane game.
Yeah, well obviously he couldn't play through injury, but look, he's got to get into some training, and look, if he's right to play and he's up for selection, well then we'll definitely look at him. But we've got to understand and appreciate that Jack's had a long layoff, it's a long season, but yeah, if he's right, he'll be in the mix. If he's not, well then we'll keep pushing him forward.
Where do you reckon he is?
Jordan was a bit sore, I think, in that game against Brisbane. Nos didn't play the 23s. Is he available for selection this week?
Yeah,
or do you sort of
He was just one that we wanted to manage.
Yeah.
Young fella, big pre-season, didn't play for 12 months last year. We've got to be very mindful of that as well.
Where do you reckon Jack is? Where do you reckon Jack is in terms of, say you need training before you need him to get picked? How far off do you think he is?
It's hard to put a time frame or anything like that. I think he performed in the intra club, so his performance on the track had been fine. It's just whether there's a spot there for him at the moment. That's the healthy position that we're in at a footy club at the moment. We've really, Ollie's the long termer for us at the moment, and it's a healthy list, so healthy headache.
So Jack's good then. Jack's okay. He's been ticked off medically, and he's all sound. Or does he still need?
Well, he's not yet. He's got to get through some training first.
Yep.
And whether that's this week, we'll wait and see.
So did he have any, setback ahead of the Brisbane game? Because he got through the intra-club he played a part in the intra-club. Did he have a little bit of a setback before the Brisbane game then?
Yeah, just a minor little setback, but nothing to do with his ankle or anything like that. My understanding is just more just general soreness because he's had such a layoff, but nothing to do with his previous injury.
I think Zach came off for a little bit today. Zach Butters, he's all okay?
Yeah, he's all good. He unfortunately ran into Hamish Hartlett. So sometimes you come off second best when you run on the hammer. But he's fine. He finished the session in the end. Anyway.
So you said Ollie Wines is the only sort of long-termer. What's his sort of prognosis there? How's he travelling?
Oh, look, I don't know the time frame, but if you've been watching training, the pleasing thing is we've got Ollie in shadowing players. I think he's only 3 or 4 weeks since he had the operation, if that. So the fact that he's in and around the players, shadowing players, getting a feel, will give him more confidence to be able to get him back early once he's medically ticked off from a physical point of view. But just seeing Ollie, his spirits are high. He's running well and being around the boys, I think is a real positive.
Jarrad, David Koch obviously has touched on the importance of making finals and how that directly impacts Ken and his future here. What do you think as a senior coaching, member of senior coaching staff that's seen a fair bit, played for the club, when you hear Koshy say, need to make it?
Well, I've said I'm not in the position to make those decisions, and that's up to the powers that are above. But I think from a coaching point of view, is we're all in it to obviously play finals, and we're all in it to win premierships. There's no question that's what every club goes in to do. But I think the biggest thing is that as a coaching panel, is that we're supporting Ken and making sure that it's not just Ken put out there. It's the whole coaching sort of staff that have got a responsibility to give our players the best opportunity, and then there's their responsibility to go out and get the job done. So, and what will be in terms of what happens in the end.
I suppose, it is like every team obviously goes out for success, but it's sort of a little unusual sometimes to hear a president or chairman say this could cost you your job if you don't make it. Is there a little added responsibility to get around Ken, as you said?
Oh, look, from day one when Ken's gone into this season, we've all wanted to be supportive of Ken, and that's probably never changed. Yes, there's a lot of external noise, but all we can do is take care of the things that we're in control of and provide the best environment, best teaching environment to make our players the better, and if we're all supportive of each other, hopefully we get what we deserve, and that's success.
Have you been happy with the midfield mix you've got at the moment, Jarrad, as a midfield coach, with obviously bringing in some new faces this season?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a really good balance. We last year, probably towards the end of the year, we started to become heavily reliant on Travis. His body was bruised and battered by the end. Had such a big year, but to see guys like Dan Houston go in there this pre-season, Connor Rosie, Pep is sharing the load between forward. We're getting different looks, and it's really adding to our mix and how we want to be dynamic around the football. But just for those players, I suppose, in Houston and Rosie, having a greater understanding of what's required on a consistent basis around the contest and what happens away, I think it's been their real sort of highlight for those guys and their growth pre-season, and that's what I'm excited about moving forward. So I think at the moment we can pull on 10 to 12 players that can go through there and really know what their job needs to be done and play their role.
How do you see Rosie split, I guess, between the forward and midfield time?
It's an interest. It'll be game to game, situational. If we're feeling like we need one thing or another from Connor. If he's kicking bags of goals and he's up front, I think it's going to be hard for me to pull him away from Nathan Bassett. But I think we just got to make sure we're consistent with our messaging and with the time that they spend, whether it be in the midfield or forward. That can vary, but. Look, we've got a lot of players that can go through, which is exciting.
You're probably getting asked this a fair bit. Are you confident you've got that pace in there? I guess considering it was something that came up again and again last year.
Yeah, I think we do. Look, I can reel them off. Guys on the outside, Amon, Dersma. You got Houston, Rosie, Pep. We've got a lot of powerful runners in there, and I think sometimes we can fall in the trap of leg speed. Yes, leg speed's one part, but as I look at its reaction speed. And you don't always have to be the quickest to be able to get to the next contest. It's through your mind reaction speed. But if the balance is right and we're all playing our role and they understand what their role is, I think we can be an effective midfield.
What's Evo's split, Joe?
Evo's split?
Yeah.
He's another one that, look, he probably didn't play as much mid last year because we had a role for him forward. But with other guys coming in to the forward line, Mitch has been tried there this year. We're expecting obviously Toddy to step up more. Look, it might shift Brad's minutes into the midfield a bit more. Now on the weekend in the 23s game, he played predominantly mid. That was basically to actually get him around the football. But look, he's another one that that he'll be situational game to game, along with probably 3 or 4 other guys that play in that front half.
So Toddy and Mitch, are they essentially playing for one spot, or could you sort of play both? And obviously with Charlie Dixon as 3 talls in that same forward line.
I wouldn't say they're playing for one spot, but they're competing for a number of positions.
Yeah.
And like any given week, we'll pick a side against an opposition side that can hopefully expose their weaknesses, and whether that's having the extra tall, having the extra small, that will be a week-to-week thing. But just to have them competing for various spots and working together is what we're looking for, and that's what part of these Marsh Cup games are about.
How's Rocky?
He's good.
Going all right?
He's going well.
He expecting another big one from him with sort of Ollie making way early parts of the season. He'll shoulder that load.
Yeah, well, Rocky's one of the smartest footballers I've ever come across. He's he's an organiser, he's a leader, and he's had his best pre-season in terms of what he's output in terms of on the track. He's fit, which is a good thing. But once again, he's no different to any other player that goes in the midfield, is that they've got a role to play. We have a structure of the type of setup we want around the football, and they know what their roles are, and then it's up to them to make sure they get their game done so they get selected.
Just the last couple.
That's it.
No, good. Unless we go through the other 38 blokes on the list.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
No worries.